We rode all the way to El Dorado and lived to tell the tale. Hello and welcome to Best Motorcycle Roads. I'm Tom.
And I'm Todd. We have over 65 years of combined motorcycling experience and 30 years of planning and riding motorcycle trips. We're here to share with you everything we've learned over those years.
Our goal at Best Motorcycle Roads is simple. Make your next motorcycle trip the best it can be. We'll dive into technology, planning, packing, the routes, and other tips and everything we can find in between.
From essential prep to unforgettable routes, we've got you covered.
Before we kickstart today's journey, we ask you to sign up for our BMR Rider Alerts. It's our way of keeping you in the loop with the latest rides, tips, and stories. We promise no spam, only the essentials to enhance your motorcycle adventures. Join the BMR crew today. We'll put a link in the show notes.
RideWise is the section we focus on planning and safety tips.
This is our segment about reviews and tips. We call it the Toolkit. When you're planning for these travel essentials, so, that's what we're talking about for the kind of theme today, Todd. So, we've talked about it a number of times, but tools, right? I mean, the veterans of the show will know, but you got to bring some tools. And we've talked a lot about the latex gloves. There's just something to throw on there for two reasons, right? One, it's great if you're getting into something that's greasy and mucky. Second, we've also used those as emergency glove liners in case it's raining as well. So, but zip ties those gloves, some tape, electrical and duck style if you want to really tie something up. And, just those tools that you've been using as you're adjusting your bike. I mean, those are kind of the minimums, and they'll get you to the next stop. I've had a time when Turk and I were riding. I forget exactly where we were at, but the bike just shut off. Nothing. No electricals, no anything. And it's like, what could that possibly be? So luckily, he rode up to a Walmart, bought some tools. We took the side covers off. It was on my Kawasaki Contour, and what it ended up being was the battery cable was loose.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if we'd have had all the tools, but we ended up buying some. So again, it's like, it's really just to get to the place where you need to do the thing. So, that's what I think from a tools standpoint, you kind of live and learn and you pick them up as you go. But the great thing about riding bikes is usually there's another person with a bike. So somebody can go somewhere and do something. So, and then just a power bank, we've been riding and we like to keep our headsets charged between stops. Sometimes they won't go, especially if you're riding a long time for the day, but they're just handy at times. Phones, your phone might run low on battery. When you're going into a break, you can plug your phone in and boost it, the headset boost it. And then cameras and all these things. The power banks are just super handy. And then there's certain ones that you can buy actually that can jump start a motorcycle as well. So, one of those things, and they really work. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, speaking of power banks, and we were talking about headsets, for some reason on this most recent ride this weekend, my headset, which was fully charged, only lasted about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I started getting the signal that was going dead. I forgot to bring my power bank, but luckily you had one. So
well, luckily I had one that ended up ripping itself out of the whole entire trunk. So another thing to work on.
Yeah. The other thing too is rain gear.
Absolutely. It's an essential for sure.
It is an essential. Even on one-day rides, you never know when things can change. And I would just recommend you get some rain gear that packs down kind of small, because usually on longer trips, you've already got a lot of gear. And to have a rain suit that's big and bulky, taking up maybe a whole bag is not good. So find something that can pack down. I'm currently using a Nelson Rigg storm suit, storm jacket and pants, and it packs right down into its own pouch inside the jacket, and it's real small. Very weatherproof so far, but it's only 1 year on this one.
Right.
But I'd say make sure you have that with you anyway.
For sure.
RideWise is the section we focus on planning and safety tips. RideWise is the section we focus on planning and safety tips, and I've said it before. Sunscreen.
Say it again.
And look at my face. Why did I forget to put the sunscreen on once again? I don't know. Sunscreen, damn it.
Probably because it was like 47 degrees when we left.
Right. It was colder out, and you just don't think about it because you have plenty of wind and it's cool enough. And I had my sunglasses on. I did have my modular helmet, so my chin bar was down. So this part stayed out of the sun. My sunglasses picked them up, but everything else around, I burned myself once again.
Oh, a couple episodes ago, we were talking about how it'd be really nice if the fold down was that yellow, so that like at night, because I'm going to tell you, about probably 5 years ago now, I switched over to using tinted. I have a tinted shield. Yeah. I've also had the reflective. I love it for that reason, man. Yeah. And you guys mostly are wearing your sunglasses anyway. So I don't know. I mean, I've switched over to it, and it really ticks me off because it's another $50 every time I buy a helmet. I got to buy a $50 tinted screen.
Right.
But I'm telling you, it's great.
I don't like having the screen down because I like a little more fresh air. That always feels stale. Yeah. To me, I feel like I'm in a fishbowl. So I leave my screen open unless it's raining real hard. Yeah. But that's where I get myself every time. Yeah, I pay the price. Oh, the other thing too, to go along with the rain suit idea, look for a rain suit that's got the real thin hood.
Yes.
Because when it starts raining, it's important to really just take your helmet off, pull that hood up over your head. It's real thin. Put your helmet back down over. That keeps all that water from running down the back of your neck, down your back.
Yeah, I've never had one with a hood yet.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you don't have your rain jacket on, but really, that'll help keep your whole back dry, your butt dry, your seat dry. Honestly.
Well, if you don't have a hood, why would you put the damn stuff on anyway? I always think we're going to drive out of it. Oh, goodness. Yeah. The next segment is what we call the mile marker. It's our story segment. This is our story segment we call the mile marker. So we're talking about trip essentials. We've covered some of the gear, the tools, the power bank, and a little bit of the ride-wise. Now it's essentially like, where are we going to ride to, right? And we've mentioned this in other episodes. There's so many great rides, and then there's kind of the epic rides, if you want to use that overused term a lot. So from the have to ride it, we've always talked about the Tail of Dragon. It's been one of our most memorable rides, but I would also say it's been one of our most stressful rides. And the reason why, and the one tip, and maybe this should have gone into ride-wise, I don't know, but is enough time, because we've got a trip that we're planning this summer, and we were thinking about going around the entire Great Lakes, the whole entire thing. It's like 2,600 miles. Divide that by 400, which is plenty of
400
per day.
Oh, per day. Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, you're at 6-7 days. Yeah. And oh, by the way, we were talking about leaving from Chicago, so another day there, another day back. All of a sudden, you've got a 9-day trip, which no one can take that much time. So, that's the part I think that I'm learning so much, is just really be careful about how long you're going to be gone, and do not make it hectic. I think we've mentioned this in the Tail of the Dragon episode. For us, leaving from Iowa, the Dragon is a hard 2 days away. It's 2 days of riding from here. So that means you've 4 days before you've even done anything. We generally go on a 5-day trip. Well, we've done that. We've made it a 5-day trip so many times. And I feel like we miss a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So what I would say is, like, one of the essentials is really planning it out, thinking hard about how long do you want to be gone now. When you can expend some more times, when you can get a little longer time, then I think the Tail of Dragon for us should probably be an 8-day trip. If we really want to ride some of the things and having fun and enjoy some of the things, but we've never done that yet. So it would be fun when we have a little more time to kind of test that theory and see how it goes. So, so that's that time. My second thing that I thought of was really just, I'm loving it. And, with Google Photos and Amazon Photos and all the Apple Photos all popping up all the time, it's really great to see the pictures that we've taken over times, right? And I'm just saying that's an essential. And I did get one picture, but we rode a day trip the other day. We didn't take any damn pictures. We'd keep doing it to ourselves. I don't know. Yeah. We need a literal on trip checkbox next. But really, just look around and see. I just reflecting from the Minnesota trip. We stopped and took a picture at the world's biggest bluegill. We stopped and took a picture, I think it was the Viking in Alexandria. And I think we stopped, I don't know if we got a picture because it was raining, Paul Bunyan in blue.
Yeah, I've got pictures of that.
Those are great, right?
Yeah,
and I don't know, it's cool when, you think about those trips and see who was on. Well, we can't even remember half the time who's on the damn trip. It's like, was this person on? Was this? I don't remember. Oh, let's look at the picture. Yeah. So, I mean, really plan those pieces out. It's just time to do the things you wouldn't normally do. Like, some of my favorite things that we've done is had dinner with Dave, like in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. When you and I rode down, we met my buddy Mike in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Like, those are great parts of it, that I think I like as much as most of the other stuff.
I agree.
Heck, we just took a day trip, recently over the Memorial Day weekend, and we met Steve and his wife, and it was a hoot, man. Like, we just had a good time, and I don't know. It's those planning of those things that I think sometimes gets lost, especially for me, because I really like to plan that whole map out before we go. Mm-hmm. And then it's hard to stop at the biggest bluegill and to take a picture because you didn't know it was there, or you forgot. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on those things, and what makes you think about, like, when you want to plan a great trip?
Yeah, what I like that we do sometimes is we'll get together and get everybody in the room and say, here's the route, here's the big things we want to see or we want to get to.
Yep.
Now, who knows of some things in between? Things that you're aware of that you want to stop at, you've never seen, or maybe you saw but none of us have, and you think it's worth it. I enjoy that part of it, but we have so many times just while we're riding, all of a sudden we'll see something and say, let's take a look.
And what I worry most about is the ones where we didn't say anything.
Yes.
I was looking when we looked at the big, looping all the lakes. I went back and then looked at going around halfway. Then I started to zoom in on some of these little fingers in some of these places of little towns. Like, this weekend on that Memorial, or this when we rode the Memorial Day weekend ride, those little towns we went through were so interesting. Taking 2 more minutes and doing a loop in the town just to see something.
Yeah.
But like some of these downtowns are kind of revitalizing themselves, and there's little places to stop.
There were some really nice towns we went through.
Exactly. I mean, I know we've talked before about the Iron Horse Social Club in Savannah, Illinois, and it's just a cool place to stop to say, hey, I've been there. I've been there. We don't do enough of that at times, and that's partially my fault from pushing so hard at times, but
Yeah, I agree. I think if we can slow down a little bit, and if we just happen to see a town that we like the looks of, let's ride it. Let's ride all around.
It's so true, But so from the teaser, we did get to El Dorado, Iowa.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Google Maps of El Dorado, I'm gonna have to go make some suggestions because
the bridge
wasn't even there. I mean, I don't even know what that was all about. But
so that we went there because it said Great River Road, right?
So just past this town. I mean, trust me, this town's about 15 streets. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's probably not that many. Yeah. Had the Great River Road. I've driven by it for years. I'm going up to Decorah to pick up my son from college, and every time I drive by there, only on the one side of the road, on the east side, it said Great River Road. Well, I'm playing that. I mean, I'm granted it's probably the county's naming of the road or whatever, but it was, I just always wanted to ride it. And, so we finally took the time to do it. We zipped in through the town, which was awesome because it's just, you come through this town and it's probably, 150-foot drop, would you say maybe?
It's down in the bottom of the
valley. Just the bottom of
the
valley. And then you always see it from up above, these 2 peaks of this beautiful old church.
And it looks like the whole town just kind of lines up to the church, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. So we went there and we drove by the church. Then we went to go where the bridge didn't maybe used to be. And then we came back out. And then, of course, in typical summer fashion, we start rolling down this Great River Road. And there was a detour about 2 miles in.
Yeah.
So we ended up, I don't know, we went way around it and never really got back to it.
We'll have to go back and look at our map, see where we went.
Someday we'll go back and re-ride it from El Dorado. But it was still a great ride. And we ended up riding C9Y, which was a pretty amazing road, and then picked up on old Highway 3, which I never even knew went into that area, and that was pretty
right up
awesome.
To Dubuque there.
That was pretty awesome.
I thought C9Y had some amazing scenery.
It was the best road with the scenery match, I would say.
But the quality of the road itself, it was getting
rough.
It was a little rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was, you could tell the winter and summer, seasons.
Hadn't done any favors.
No, hadn't helped at all.
And then I don't remember. I'll have to go back and see what road we were coming in down. And when we hit that Guttenberg road, I just don't ever remember going south on that road before. We may have went north.
Yeah.
But that look over the river right there,
It was gorgeous.
unbelievable.
Yeah, but
just-
three was a wonderful road.
And it was great. It was well maintained.
Very well
and
maintained.
just really
Smooth
nice little
and-
tight.
But yeah, windy. And,
It wasn't chip seal, had a line.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it was really good.
Recommend that one.
Totally. The podcast can be found on bestmotorcycleroads.com/podcast. All the information you need will be there. But you can subscribe on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, Pocket Cast, and YouTube.
This is the interactive segment. We will be looking for input from you. We want you to send us your questions and suggestions for roads, topics, and anything else you have on your mind. Today's Roadside Q&A comes from Mike, and Mike was asking us about the headsets. We've talked about that we like to use headset communicators in our helmets and wanted to know which ones we use. We've been using Cena's forever, for many, many years. And prior to Cena's, we had a whole cacophony of different ones.
That was a hot mess.
that
I think it was called Hot Mess.
Yeah, that didn't work all that well.
It looks like those communicators look like what the trunk of my motorcycle looks like right now.
We got to see that sometime. But we're using Cena 50S right now.
Yeah.
The best technology they've upgraded to now is the mesh technology. It puts everybody in the same group just instantaneously. It's a one button click.
Yeah.
And it puts everybody into the mesh. And even if you separate from the group and you fall out of that group, as soon as you get close enough, you go right back.
Kind of still on the channel.
You're still on the channel, and the mesh kicks back in, and you're
Yep.
on it. Is it a Wi-Fi that they're actually creating with mesh? Or?
I assume so. I haven't looked at that, so I don't want to say, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's what they've done. I think that's also why the batteries last a little longer than Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Because Bluetooth will amp up and back, so yeah.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, and so, there's two big players, Senna, and then Cardo. And Cardo's kind of fallen behind. We've talked about this before, and they do have a mesh, but they will not talk mesh to mesh.
Oh, I see.
So that's proprietary between the two. And then, but they can, if you and a friend have one, you can connect the intercoms together, because I think that is Bluetooth.
That's the Bluetooth. Yeah.
So just don't, you can't unfortunately do that. Now, if you're completely vested in Cardo, Senna does make the Bluetooth connector that does connect into mesh. So that's possible, but that's still like $200. So now you almost buy the 50S for it. So I don't know that they're better. I think they're just more common. And then I think you haven't been on a trip that you've heard this yet, but we've been on 2 trips recently where more and more people are using it. And then, so you'll ride up on people and you'll all be talking together with people you either meet or following. So there is a way actually to change the channel. It's not simple, though. So
Okay, yeah, because I noticed when I clicked in to join, it did say mesh channel 1.
Yeah, and that's the default.
Yeah.
And most people leave it as
Just leave it.
So like if you're antisocial and you don't want to talk to anybody else, then change your channel right away.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun. Like when we were riding down to the Eclipse, we started hearing something on there, and pretty soon it was like blah blah blah, and they're like, "Hey, these guys are on here too. Hey, how's it going?" It was cool. It was fun.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it was kind of fun.
It's like being on channel 19 on your CB radio, right?
That's exactly what it is. Now, when we were up in where it did get annoying when we went up to the Slimy Crud run, we ended up following some people that had it, and then it was kind of trouble. Like it wasn't bad, but then we couldn't talk because then it was broadcast on their channel. They didn't realize, I don't think, that this was it wasn't the channel 19.
So in that case, you probably could have just shut off mesh and just gone to the Bluetooth connection.
Right, but we'd never connected to Bluetooth before, so then we had to pull over, and then it'd be an hour.
Yeah, it takes a long time to do that. Yeah, for sure.
Now it's time for the last mile. It's the way we close the episode down with our reflection. Todd, what are you thinking?
Well, we had just a really nice ride this past weekend, Memorial Day weekend. We rode about 350 miles.
Yeah.
So it was just nice. I just forgot my sunscreen once again.
The tan looks good on you.
Oh boy, yeah. I've got to learn my lesson. I talk about it too, So, yeah. No, it was just a great ride.
Yeah.
The weather was absolutely perfect. We could not have got a nicer day. It wasn't humid. It wasn't hot. I mean, yeah, it was just perfect.
Yeah, I'll +1 on that and kind of double down on what we've talked about here. It had everything was enjoyable. Like, one, we had some new roads that we hadn't rode before. Two, a little bit of adventure here and there where we were just kind of finding our way around a little bit, which was nice. We didn't have any big photo ops or big like things to see. But I mean, like, we did end up on like a C9Y and some of the kind of standards or the best roads that we found in Iowa. And then, this new element of we met some people, friends, and had a drink and some burgers with people, which it was just a really great cap to the day. And then like one thing we kind of talked about at the end, and this kind of goes into this trip planning, is we left early, not crazy early, 7 o'clock in the morning. We did our 350. We were home by 4:30 in the afternoon and stopped for a long time to eat, and then, I don't know, like, we were all talking about how nice that was too. So it wasn't like, sometimes when you're busting home from those trip days, like we've gotten home at dark, past dark before, and it's too much. Like, it's like, a little bit goes a long way. You know?
No, it was nice to get back in the, late afternoon. I thought that was perfect.
So,
and I know you mentioned there weren't all that many scenic areas. Actually, C9Y did really have some beautiful,
unbelievable.
But we had all been up there many times, so
Correct.
we didn't pull over to take more pictures there.
Good point. There was some literal scenic pull-offs that we could have take pictures from, and we just kept rolling.
But we've been there.
Yeah.
We all have those pictures already.
Totally.
So.
For sure. So,
great road, though, C9Y in Iowa.
if this episode revved up your day, don't keep it to yourself. Like it, subscribe to it, and share it with your crew. We're all about the thrill of the ride and the bond it creates.
Keep the spirit of adventure alive, and remember, bikes, friends, and endless roads. The stories ride forever. Take care.